All right, we are back here. Thank you guys for joining me this beautiful Friday. And thank God it's Friday, guys. I am so super excited that it's Friday. Thank you guys for joining me. Come on in, let's discuss this conversation. Come on in. Yes, Moment with Oyoyo is live. Oyoyo's World is live. And we'll be talking about a Nigerian blogger, a big time internet blogger here. He's a big time content creator, a former, I need it in a glass cup, okay? Former radio presenter that just retired and went, as went into content creating. And the man in question was one of the people that interviewed Mr. Korobidi when he was giving interviews to bloggers after he made the announcement I'm divorcing Cora. All right. So Daddy Freeze was charged by the court to pay the sum of 5 million naira, and it was called adultery fine for committing adultery with a married woman. And was that really the case here? We'll be unfolding all of that today, and I bet you love to hear what we'll be looking at it from the legal standpoint. Okay, that's what we're looking at it today. And Daddy Freeze now went back to appeal the case. Okay, he refused to pay the 5 million, so he appealed the case in an upper court. When he went to appeal, the Court of Appeal decided the case and said what? They are upholding the judgment of the lower court, and which means that the Freeze should go back and pay the 5 million adultery fine. So does that mean that the Freeze was actually committing adultery with a married woman? It's not that straightforward, but we're going to be talking about it. So what does it really mean, Oyoyo? In Africa, and I'll be specific this time, I'll be very specific in Nigeria. Guys, as you come in, please like the live stream for me. Like, because I know you want to hear my opinion. I'm also coming in from the legal point of view, okay? Now, let's get into this detail. In Africa, specifically Nigeria, and I'm going further to the Igbo culture in Nigeria. Daddy Free's wife now is an Igbo woman. And she was married to this man for many years. And then finally, when the marriage broke down irretrievably, they went to court. When they went to court to get divorce, and then the next thing we saw was that the Freeze was dating this woman and things like that. The woman has shared her story years back. It was also publicized by bloggers. Her true story, what she went through in the marriage, and what she claimed in her court document. She also claimed in her court document when she was sharing her story from the horse's mouth. She claimed that her husband was not straight, and she did not know that her husband was doing things with some little, let's say young boys, but not small children, with boys in their home. Those are information from the woman's court document. And those are what she said, okay? Now, why did the man file for adultery? Let me explain it here. For those hearing this for the first time, there is fine for adultery. Somebody will say, wait, if the woman was still married and he went on to marry this woman, why didn't the ex-husband file for bigamy? And I will tell you the reason why he did not file for bigamy. And what is adultery fine? Why did the court find that the Freeze adultery? Was that the Freeze truly sleeping? I don't want to use that word. Was that the Freeze really committing adultery? We're going to be doing a marriage course today, okay? So let's understand how these things work. Because yesterday, one of my beautiful subscribers here, Liz, was asking me about culture and all of that. And somebody asked me, so now that Mr. Korobidi did not return bride price, what will happen to him? Let's talk about it. Because Mr. Korobidi is not really Nigerian, and he really does not understand the culture, it's not his culture, so he might not have the effect of a Nigerian man asking for bride price, or going to court that my ex my soon-to-be ex was committing adultery. I'm going to be explaining. All right. Justina, I see you. Thank you for being here. Click and likes. I love your name because I like clicks. I like likes. Please, I'm not Mr. Korobidi that said he doesn't live by click and likes. I love clicks. Like my video, click and watch and share. Okay. Like. So click and like said, so he has all this skeleton, but was on his life. When Mr. Cora came to drag Cora, birds of the same feathers, they flock together. That is a great saying. Eve, thank you for joining me today. All right, let's start breaking it down, okay? There is no point to waste. Let's go through this because I need to. My kids order some delicious pizza that I can't wait to dig in, okay? It's Friday. All right. So when the man's ex-wife, that is Daddy Free's present wife, they have, I think they have four children together. The Daddy Free's wife now has four children with the ex-wife, ex-husband. And then when the marriage was broken down, she moved on. If you guys don't know, divorce cases in Nigerian courts are not the ones you get at the speed of time. No. They might drag up to 10 years, they might drag up to 5 years, depending on what they are contending with. If there is no contentious issue, that means the divorce might go very smoothly because each party is already tired of the relationship. But whereby they are not tired, they usually, I'm saying this because I witnessed it several in court in Nigeria. That's why I'm saying this. Yesterday, to even think about it, yesterday I was going through the internet. I was looking for the judge I did my court attachment with when I was a law student, and he's still in practice. He's still a judge in Lagos. I was like, wow. So anyway, that's by the way, but you might hear why I mentioned his name. So some men in Nigeria, once a woman said, I'm no longer interested in this marriage because of AYZ that you're doing to me or how you treat me and things like that, those men will be very vindictive, just like Mr. Korobidi. So I'm so glad that Mr. Korobidi did not file for any of this, or this case is not in Nigerian court, okay? So they will be very vindictive on how to punish the woman. Whenever they appear in court, instead of hearing the case for the day, they will go on with their lawyers to tell the court that, my honor, I still love my wife. I am asking the court to give us time to see if we can make up, if we can reconcile, if we can do better by ourselves. They will keep saying it upon every adjournment. And you know, the legal system in Nigeria is so male. It's so male. If you understand, you understand. Because most of the people understand we have culture, we have, tradition. And most times, most of them, the judges you're referring to, they might have one or two wives. So if they're polygamous in nature, they might be tilting to listen to what the man is saying. Madam, go and cook pepper soup for your husband. You guys should make up and come here and tell me. They will jokingly say things like that to see if that will help. But when they realize that the case is serious, maybe 2 years has passed or 3. In the case of Daddy Free's wife, I don't know what happened in their case, whether it was delayed or it was not delayed. But I'm here to tell you the reason why Daddy Freeze is now being charged with 5 million naira for adultery. The wife is an Igbo woman. And I pray Liz will come back and watch this video. When you marry an Igbo woman, there is something we call bride price. It could be $10, it could be 30, it could be 100, it could be 25,000 naira, it could be 15,000, it could be 10,000, it could be 2,000 naira, which is less than a quarter. Okay, so they are not putting those money because they want to sell their child. No, it's just like an evidence that a bride price was paid. There was an exchange of something between the families that they want to marry our child. So the culture requires that you come with your a family, that's the male comes with their family, the female will be there with their own family members. They will witness the ceremony and a bride price will be paid. Most times what families are into, they will just tell you, we are not receiving any money as bride price, but we are asking you to take good care of our daughter. Love her, respect her, and she will honor you. And then the rest of the items that comes with the bride price, like the yam, cola nuts, palm wine, all of those will be received by the family of the girl. Now, after that exchange and marriage was fully conducted by the two families, you are now legally husband and wife. If you want to proceed to go to court and do the statutory marriage, is up to you, but you're not required. If you now want to go further to celebrate the union, you can do what is called traditional marriage. And that's what the one most people see, because it's very glamorous, it's very, very epic, very interesting. The outfit, the colors, the food, the dance, people celebrate it based on the size of your pocket. Some people go gaga, like what the world witnessed about Davido, the popular Nigerian singer. Or you can go it, according to the size of your purse. We also witnessed that one of a Nigerian celebrity, Sharon, the Nigerian actress, that happened few weeks ago. That one is what traditional marriage ceremony. But the bride price is usually done by the two families without strangers. Now, if you decide, like I said, to do traditional marriage, then you can go celebrate it with family, friends, and well wishers. But if you decide to go and marry your wife, you are legally married. The courts in Nigeria recognize the bride price. You heard me, right? The courts in Nigeria recognize bride price as an evidence of marriage. It is the legal way of marrying in Nigeria. Second, the statutory law is what Oyibo borrowed culture from the Western world. It has never been a Nigerian or African thing, but we are doing it now, right? Just like we embrace Christianity that they brought onto us, yes. But what is the court looking for? That bride price. So apparently, when a divorce happens or when separation comes in, it is required of the woman and her family to go and return that bride price that was paid when that exchange happened. If you fail to return the bride price, you are as well ready for what? The consequences. Be ready. And I want to believe that's where Daddy Freeze, defaulted. And that's why Daddy Freeze was accused of adultery. So now, let me take it piece by piece. You must return a bride price in Igbo culture before you call yourself fully separated, fully divorced from that man. If you fail to return the bride price and you moved on with another man and start making babies with the man, be rest assured that those babies will go back to your ex-husband. One. Unless you now go and start doing the rituals that some communities might allow. It is a serious thing. And that's why even up to appeal courts, they withheld the judgment. No, they upheld, before I say something else, they upheld the judgment of the lower court. Because at the time, Daddy Freeze started seeing this woman, her case was in court, and she did not return the bride price to the man's family. Hi, Suzanne! Woo! Longest time, beautiful. Nice to see you. Let me welcome my beautiful friends. Q Lady D, you just missed my story on Cora this evening. Oh, Julie, thank you for joining me. You just missed my story. My kids are making noise in the basement. Let me be sure they shut the door. Can you shut the door of the basement? They are gone. Let them go to the basement and play. There is enough space there. All right. Julie, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Q Lady, you missed my conversation on Mr. Cora Obidi. I just finished that just a few minutes ago. I am back to for this because Daddy Freeze allowed that man on his platform. Yes, I know we are going to be talking about all of that. I heard beautiful Cora said she paid half of her bride price. What does that mean? Okay, we'll be explaining that. And Susan, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for being here. Most beautiful host, my beautiful host, good morning from my side. Oh, what are you doing awake? Are you doing kerewa, kerewa? Are you in the other room getting busy? Anyways, welcome all of you. And MTA, thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to be, there was a statement that the Freeze made when he was trying to justify the story. And that was very laughable. After I heard that statement, I just laughed and then left that conversation he was doing. All right. Now, Daddy Freeze went on in this relationship with this woman. And I believe at that time, the bride price was not paid. So when the man sued Daddy Freeze, and I believe with his ex-wife, right, for adultery, hey, the lower court decided the case and then granted the man 5 million. The man could have sued for 50 million, but he's also a very rich man, okay? But he was gracious to just go 5 million. And at the time that case was heard, 5 million was still worth something. Right now, 5 million worth nothing in Nigeria. Okay. So now, like I said, cases in court in Nigeria can linger for years before you get judgment. So when the man sued for 5 million, the court granted the 5 million adultery fine and required Daddy Freeze to pay the fine. Did Daddy Freeze pay the fine? No. What he did was to go on appeal, saying that he disagreed with the judgment of the lower court simply because he was not served. So he was not disputing. Listen to me, because I asked Daddy Freeze that question on his live stream and he ignored my question. Daddy Freeze was not disputing the adultery, whether it was committed or not. He did not dispute it in his appeal. He's appealing because he was not served. Remember when Zoe was dodging service, right? Cora was trying to serve Crystal. They couldn't serve it. When they got to court, the court now granted other means of service, and eventually the woman was properly served. Okay? In that case, Daddy Free said he was not served. So he was appealing to the court to disregard the judgment of the lower court simply because he did not receive the summon from the court or the petition. He was not served. So he was asking based on the application of the cost, not based on the fact that somebody sued you for what? Adultery. You get what I'm saying? So that wasn't the issue. That means adultery truly happened. I asked Daddy Freeze thinking he was going to answer me. I was on his live, but he did not answer me. Now, let's go back. Q Lady asked Cora that she heard beautiful Cora said she paid half of her bride price. What does that mean? Okay. Like I said at the beginning of this program, I gave instances of bride price. I know some cities in my states in Nigeria, how much the bride price are. Some might be 2,000 naira, which is less than a quarter. Okay. Yeah, no, 1,000 is 1,000 naira is $1. So 2,000 might be $1.40 or $1.30. Okay, let me make it that way so you guys can understand. And in some communities, it could be 50,000 naira. Some communities, it could be 20,000. So we are looking at everything we are looking at as bride price will be below 100,000. That is below $80 in terms of international currency. And I've given the reasons why they do the bride price. And also, I stated here that bride price is legal. It is recognized by the court of law in Nigeria. It is our way of doing things as Nigerians. Every community in Nigeria, we all have our bride price. It might differ from the other, but we have that. Now, if Daddy Freeze, at the time he started seeing this woman, the family of the woman did not return this man's bride price. I want to believe that was why they went to court and then asked the court to that they are suing Daddy Freeze for adultery. Because these two people, Daddy Free's wife and the ex, they've already separated. She has moved out of this man's house. So she might as well call herself a single lady. But before you truly call yourself a single lady, especially if you're Igbo, make sure you return the bride price. Are there instances where people don't want to accept the bride price? Yes. Are there instances they could prevent you from returning the bride price? Yes. A man who is vindictive, especially the likes of Mr. Korobidi, will do everything possible not to receive those bride price from their in-laws because they want to drag the woman, suck the woman out until she dries up like bunga fish. And again, because they want to drag the whole process, so if that woman was still in the prime that she could still remarry, possibility of finding love and remarrying, they are going to drag the whole thing to make sure by the time they are willing to accept your bride price back to them, you would have gotten old. And no man will say, I love you again. These are intentional things people do to witch hunt the ex. And how important is this bride price, Oyoyo? For Cora's case, what Lady Q said here, assuming Cora's community's bride price was 20,000 naira, let's assume it was $10, okay? And if the man did not have money to pay the bride price because he went to Nigeria for that, Cora might have pulled money from her own personal account and gave the man to be able to do what? Buy the bride price items. Not only are you using money as the bride price, in the olden days, it was never money, it was cowrie. That was what we are using for exchange before civilization came to. They will have items like palm wine, they will have yam, they will have white chalk, they will have cola nuts, all of those things, and most likely wrapper for the mother of the bride, and then Gordon gin, that's schnapps for the bride's father. They will have all of those listed in what you're going to come with when you come for bride price. So assuming Cora contributed that money, maybe the man didn't have enough and Cora contributed the money for the bride price, that could be what Cora was making reference to. And yesterday on my live stream, Liz asked, what if you marry an Oyibo? Is the person mandated to return the bride price? First of all, Oyibo is not their culture, okay? It's ideal that they return the bride price, but somebody who is as vindictive as Mr. Kora Obidi will tell you that will be the last thing he will do. And it's not, you don't return bride price by paying it back into the person's account. It's not done that way. You have to go back to that family to return it. And for Cora's case, based on what Q Lady asked, if Cora contributed for the bride price, that means if Mr. Korobidi had paid, let's say, we are saying let it be $20. If Mr. Korobidi had paid $10 and Cora contributed $10, that means they are going to return the $10 that Mr. Korobidi paid, not the total amount, because also Cora contributed. So they are going to, Cora's family are going to tell Mr. Korobidi, okay, now you're no longer marrying our child. We want to return the bride price you paid to our daughter. How do you want us to return it? If you want, we can come to your place to return it. But if that avenue is not possible, another way to return a bride price is to the courts. You can take it back to the courts and now say, I've tried all the means necessary, every possible means to return this bride price. But unfortunately, they are avoiding my family from returning this bride price. For that reason, we are seeking the help of the courts to return this bride price so that I can be free from this man. And Liz is here. Thank you, Liz, for coming. Thank God you're here because I needed you to listen to this. All right. You're welcome. I'm doing things. I know, Suzanne, I know. MTA said, why haven't she paid bride price to the man back? Exactly. Good question. We'll be getting there. Lizzie said, hi, guys. Had a busy day in the UK. Thank God the law changed a year divorced, no fault after 1 year. After 1 year marriage. In America, it's very easy to get a divorce too, unless if there is a very contentious issue. You can just go to court and get divorced and then file the document to the woman or the man. And anyway, so let's continue. Now, if the family of the woman tried everything to get, everything within their means to return the bride price that was paid on their daughter, and the man is avoiding them, maybe if they go to their house, the gates are locked, nobody there to receive them, or maybe the man puts a standing order, don't come to your house, and tell the villagers, if these people come, make sure you chase them away. It could happen. Or maybe they will tell you, we are still talking to our son. We give us time, give us time. That is what delay tactics. They're going to use give us time. They still, why are you in a hurry to do this? Maybe they still have chances of reconciling. Don't push it. Give them, people make mistakes. That delay tactics. And the man is pushing that narrative until the woman is aged out of finding love. I witnessed this firsthand in court. When I was in doing what was it called? When I was doing court attachment, and even when I was practicing law, I was very angry. That actually happened to my partner, my partner in the law firm. I said, if you don't want this woman, why are you still dragging this issue? You guys are wasting my time. He said, Rem, just cool down. Don't say anything, please. It's my case. Let me handle it. So I know what I'm talking about. So let's get into it. All right. So now, if they did avoid all of it, it could be one of the reasons why the lady's family did not return the bride price. I don't know specifically the reason, but I don't want to believe that Daddy Freeze was benching with this woman when she was still in that marriage. No, nobody can sell that lie to me. This woman was out of that marriage before she started seeing Daddy Freeze. She is a very decent woman. She's not those kind of loose people that would jump into another relationship immediately. Even took her time before she considered dating Daddy Freeze. She has given her testimonies. And then her interview in Linda Ikeji. If there is any search button when you go to Linda Ikeji on your laptop, you find her story. Just type Benita. Her story might pop up. Or you can go to her own Instagram page. Go very down, like 2 years ago, you might see her case pop up and you hear for yourself. I don't know her personally, but I know she looks very decent, and the way she has carried herself, she's a very decent woman. So I can't believe, and I will not believe she was seeing Daddy Freeze while she was still married. The only reason the court could have found Daddy Freeze, guilty of what was charged was because of evidence of not returning the bride price. Now, if you're marrying an Igbo, if you're remarrying an Igbo woman, a married Igbo woman, a divorcee Igbo woman, think thoroughly. Make sure you ask this question. Nne, have your family members returned your bride price from the previous marriage? If the answer is, I'm not sure, I will ask my mother, I will ask my father. Stand on it until you get, is it a yes or no answer? Don't continue with anything you're doing. Because like I said here, if at all they had children before the proper divorce happened, that child or children will go back and become the man's children. And this is a man that you have separated from. This is a man that you no longer talk with. You don't have anything to do with. But for the fact that you did not return that bride price, any proceed that comes from you in terms of children belongs, they will still be answering the man's name. So bride price is one almighty powerful thing in traditional and cultural setting of the Igbo people. So you hear me right. And I want to believe that's why the court agreed that Daddy Freeze did something wrong, that he committed adultery with a married woman. Until your bride price is fully returned, you're still married to that man. Even if it's 5 years after you guys no longer talk to each other, you are still his wife. If it's 10 years, you're still his wife. Let me read more comment before they pile up. All right, Lizzie said the old law was irresponsible, different, and the ground of 2 years separation with consent, 5 years without consent, adultery, dissertation, but is no longer applies. Okay, I'm glad they changed things. Hey, special ability learning. Thank you. I met you today. Thank you, beautiful. Thank you for joining. So, Yo-Yo, if a couple marry in Nigeria, move to America, which country has jurisdiction? It depends on who married. Let me say Nigerians married. Okay, let me say Nigeria. A Nigerian man that lives in America goes back to Nigeria and then marry a woman, did the bride price. Before you can say you married, bride price is evidence, especially in Igbo culture. Marry a woman, pay the bride price, did the traditional marriage if they want to, and then move the wife to come and live with her in America. And when they get to America here, for example, they did a statutory marriage in court, or maybe they did a statutory marriage in Nigeria before she now joined. That's the easiest way they do it. They do the statutory marriage in Nigeria as well. Then she moves to America to live with the husband. If that woman wants to divorce, she will go to American courts here and get a divorce, in as much as the statutory marriage was conducted in Nigeria before she moved here, but she can still get divorced from American courts here. Okay, what they need to do, both of them live here, they reside here, they can walk into the court and get a divorce. Then again, after doing that, the onus is now on the woman to make sure she tells her family members in Nigeria, you guys already know I'm no longer married to my husband. And AYZ explained the whole situation because before they even went to court, the family back home in Nigeria are aware. Now, she must make sure, like I said, the onus is on her to make sure that her family will return her bride price to the man's family in Nigeria. Whether they live in the US and the jurisdiction is there, she must return that bride price to the man's family. Until that is done, she is still legally married to that man, in as much as they've dissolved the statutory marriage. Because what bride price does is this, it has the same strength, the same length, the same power with statutory marriage in Nigerian court. Is recognized on the same category, the same level with the statutory marriage. All right, let me go back. Please, Nigerian women living in UK, learn our benefit system and rights. If he lives in the UK with citizenship, you get 2 years, and after 5 years, you could apply. Okay. If you are married, make sure the children benefits are in your name. Okay. Stacy, thank you for joining us today. Stacy, thank you. They sell their daughter for a fee. It's not sell, and I don't want you to repeat that again. That's very derogatory. I cannot accept that. So if you don't know what bride price is, ask me in the comment section. I will do the education again in as much as I've said it. What does $1, $half, how can you use that to quantify selling a daughter? A culture, it is a tradition, and you can't disparage someone's tradition. And you heard me from, do not say that again in my comment. If you don't have anything to say, keep quiet. Special ability, thank you for being here. So now that I caught up with the whole thing, fine, let me get back to the discussion. So Daddy Freeze was charged for 5 million for adultery. And I simply believe, like I said, these are the possibilities why that happened. At the time she was seeing this woman, at the time they were dating and all of that, she never returned the bride price. Her family did not return the bride price paid by the first husband. And how do you return the bride price? You need to go with your family members to reach out to the man's family members and tell them that since the marriage is no longer working between our daughter and your son, we want to know when you are available so we can come to your place to return the bride price. If they're not willing to give you guys time and dates, you made, serious effort to communicate with them, to have those conversations, to see reasons with you why you want to return the bride price so that your child, your daughter, will be free from that marriage. If they are not listening to you, the customary court in Nigeria is willing and able to do that on your behalf. All you need to do is to approach the court and tell the court, this is the predicament facing your daughter. Your daughter cannot be tied to this family simply because they don't want to what? Accept our bride price. I want you to assist us in delivering that. So the court will take that responsibility, inform the groom's family, you have a bride price in the court for you to come and collect. And this is the authority of the court. And until you do that, you understand, the customary court will now grant you that wet. Having returned the bride price in the customary court in Nigeria, your marriage is fully dissolved. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm getting a quick call. 1 second. Sorry, guys, I needed to take the call. Okay, I have a playmate, and the mother just called, and the child is not willing to go, so the play continues until tomorrow. That was why. So let's see. You ignore the ignorant, non-cultural Western society. In India, dowries. In China, dowries. But Western world, you could have children out of wedlock without consequences. Traditional culture, 100%. Thank you for saying that. Okay, thank you. I really appreciate that. All right. Sorry about the interlude, if I will put it that way. Remember those days when we were watching those, Dick's CD Dick's movies. They will say interlude, and then everybody will just wait until they come back with after commercial. Sorry about the silence. All right. So now Daddy Freeze has been charged with 5 million. And why am I even talking about Daddy Freeze? You all remember how Daddy Freeze granted the interview to Mr. Koro Obidi. They were talking about Cora. The man says that he was getting divorced, blah, blah, blah. I didn't even listen to that interview for 2 seconds, okay? I did not, because I hate it when somebody is lying and you're giving the person opportunity to come and lie some more. I didn't listen to that interview. So if you have an idea what they shared on that interview, let me know. I have no clue. I did not listen to it. But I know he was there and I saw him. I went away. Okay, Liz, they just twist it to demonize our culture. Exactly. They are ignorant, and where there is ignorance, there is lack of education, and they are foolish. Yes, exactly. That's what it means. Calling me, you are selling your make a mad on her from my village. Come fire that person. Anyways, now, so now that he has been charged for adultery, like I said, when he appealed to an upper court, a higher court, he appealed the case of 5 million, saying that the higher court should, the appeal court should disregard the judgment of the lower court because they did not serve him court document. He was never aware there was a case before him. He was never aware. That means he admitted to the fact of the case that took them to court in the first place. He did not say he did not commit adultery. Simply, he was not served. And now he has appealed again to the Supreme Court. So that the Freeze might end up being the first Nigerian man to be charged of adultery all the way to Supreme Court of Nigeria. If you live in US, Supreme Court case is not an easy one. It's not something you just go and then. You have to file document, present is a very big thing because you're going to have judges of the Supreme Court decide this. He went to, I think it was High Court they took him to. High Court fined him 5 million for adultery. He went to appeal court. Appeal court upheld the judgment of the lower court. Now he's appealing again to Supreme Court. So at the end of the day, Daddy Freeze will be the first Nigerian man to legally charged of adultery fee of 5 million. And again, will be the first Nigerian man that have made a case to Supreme Court because he married a woman he did not clear whether the bride price was returned or not. Like I said here, in most families, they don't care about the bride price. They will tell you, your family will present that money to the woman, to the lady's family. And the lady's family, we hold the elders in the family will stand. Usually the elders, for whereby the father wants to say something, the father might stand beside the elders of member of the family and now say, "Ndị ọgọ anyị, my in-laws, we appreciate you for the bride price you presented. But we want to tell you that we are not going to take the bride price. Not that we reject your offer or reject the whole thing. No. We want to tell you that what we'll consider as a bride price is respect to our daughter. Love and treat our daughter kindly. If she does something that does not go well with your son, settle the case between them. And whereby the case can be settled, then invite us to see how we can intervene. We want to bless our children. They won't say bless just their daughter. They are now our children because they've received the family, they've received the schnapps, the kola nut, which is number one traditional thing you're going to present when you come to marry in Nigeria, especially the southern part of Nigeria. The evidence of kola nut, it could be 1 penny that it sells in the market. But if you don't have that kola nut, the in-laws will not answer your question. Because if I'm coming to your house, traditionally, as a man coming to another person's house, they are going to welcome you with some kola nut, and you're also going to produce that. Kola nut, schnapps. Schnapps, I don't know how much it is now, but it's a very cheap whiskey. Okay, I don't know if it's whiskey or just hot drink. I don't know which one belongs. I don't drink, so I wouldn't know. And then other small things. Whereby is a large ceremony is the traditional marriage. Is different from dowry. Dowry in Nigeria, which we call bride price, is different from the traditional marriage celebration. Okay, so now let's get back. This modern society, multiple babies, baby daddies, women wouldn't be man and women without thinking about the children that's selfish. Yeah. Even Eve, exactly. That's why I want my son to marry women with a traditional background. Sorry, but the girls threw themselves at my son, and I'm like a hawk. Yeah. See, there's some kind of, I don't know, there's some kind of reservation that comes with that, knowing that your parents were there and they sound some warning on how you're going to make your marriage work. I don't know, but that's my saying. And maybe I may not approve of what they portray of Nigerian men. However, the women are fantastic. I know they would love my sons, and my grandchildren will be blessed. And let me hear what this ignorant Stacy is saying. Like I said, you sell yours, modern day slavery. His name is Mr. Justin Dean. Oh, is that, see, Mr. Cora Obidi? If that one is paining you that I'm calling you Mr. Cora Obidi, and all the old bullies in the WhatsApp group, listen and listen good. In the state of West Virginia, the white couple adopted 5 children as their own children, 5 black children. And in this, your modern day slavery you made mention of, they turned those 5 black children as slavery. You know why your likes will not accept the truth? Because you still want to relive that slavery day. Those slavery days, you want to relive it. This white couple, I have a video about them. Go watch it. I think I titled it, White Wealthy Couple Adopted 5 black children and turned them slaves in 2024 America. So if that's what you want to continue to do, unfortunately, Korah is smarter than your ass of a son. I'm sorry I have to say that. I'm sorry. Pardon me. Korah is smart, smarter than him. That's why your bitter son or bitter self, if you're the real Mr. Korobidi, cannot move an inch after getting full divorce from the wife. So take it and listen. And next time you come to my live stream, you're what? Banned. Bye. All right. So Stacy is the new Mr. Cora Obidi and his cohort, and he has been banned. All right. So, guys, I hope you guys can now understand why Daddy Freeze was, fined 5 million Nigeria currency for adultery. If Daddy Freeze had asked this woman, "Did you return bride price?" maybe there wouldn't have been any charges. But unfortunately, he did not know how strong, how powerful a bride price dowry could be when it comes to marrying an Igbo woman. I'm specifically talking about Igbo because that is the culture I know, the culture I was born in. So I wouldn't say how it happens in Yoruba land because I don't know the details about how their own happen or how it happens in other areas of Nigeria. So I'm very specific. And again, the woman in question is from Igbo land. And that's why that happened. The man did not sue this woman and Daddy Freeze to court because of what? Because he was lacking 5 million. No, the man did not sue them because he is poor. He's a very rich man, worked in multinational company Shell precisely for years and was one of the big guys in Shell at the time. He did that to set the record straight and to embarrass Daddy Freeze, especially for the fact that the Freeze also chased clout with people. That's what Daddy Freeze said. He said he he chases clout on the internet. So for the fact that Daddy Freeze chases clout, that's why the man gave him in the same dish that he dishes out to people. Now, let's talk about Daddy Freeze response. Daddy Freeze came, he announced he was going live at 6 p.m. He never did. And I guess at the time he was listening to his lawyers not to go live, that this might jeopardize their case, blah, 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 that it might not sound good. So he was late to that live stream and eventually held. But before he came on live stream, he made a short video which he shared on his Instagram handle saying that, "Punch, what did I do, Punch, to come and drag me like this?" That is Daddy Freeze questioning the news outlet that carried the story. "Punch, you have my phone number. I've had correspondence with you in the past. Why didn't you guys reach out to me?" My question to Daddy Freeze will now be, when Mr. Koro Bidi came to talk about Cora, did you reach out to Cora to verify any of the things this guy said? That's a question. And again, guys, sorry. All right. So I'm gonna ask that if Punch got a news to break, they have to reach out to you first because you're what? Joe Biden. Think about it. And again, you've been breaking news on other people. And when it now came to your turn, you were questioning them for not reaching out to you. That if truly they were core news outlet, they would have reached out to you to get the real story. No, they got the real story maybe from the courts, which is valid place to get information. And they ran the story based on the information they got from the court because I went to their website and I read the situation. They said the appeal was because of the service not done or service was done. That's the court document being served to Daddy Freeze. That was why he appealed. He did not appeal on the case in question, which suggests that maybe he has started seeing the woman before the bride price. And at the end of that particular news outlet information, they said after the court held the case, the court now granted the woman divorce. So it was when that case happened that the woman was finally divorced and to remarry. So the question is, was Daddy Freeze in an intimate relationship with this woman before all of this? For the court in Nigeria, Court of Appeal, to have fined him $5 million, I'm sorry, 5 million naira for adultery. Was that the case? Let me know what you think in the comment section, because this story is really very funny. I've never had a thing like this, and it's big, that the phrase is breaking news, and it's going to be a precedent for other relationships that might happen. And now, the lines of Yule Dochie, remember how that the phrase granted interview upon interview from Sarah Martin to, what's the other name, Ogala, one other lady that came to, a lot of people came to talk about Yule Dochie under the freeze. Even Paulo, a lot of people were interviewed when Yule Dochie's case happened. So the question Yule Dochie will be asking now, Daddy Freeze, how are the mighty falling? So Daddy Freeze, you were actually dealing with somebody's somebody's wife when you were there treating my case. So you can understand the thing now. It's becoming a very huge story, and they're beginning to drag Daddy Freeze now without any apologies. The comment section was brutal, to the point that Daddy Freeze had to go lock the comment section because people were not smiling. The likes of Very Dark Man is now making a comedy out of the whole story. Like I said, I don't know Benita personally, but I know she looks like a very decent woman. That other previous relationship was completely ended before she started seeing Daddy Freeze. And her interview that she granted, and it was shared on Linda Ikeji, her interview, she stated those things there. That at some point, she even stated that the man had moved on with another woman. And then they refused to grant her divorce. And if the bride price was returned, this man wouldn't have said those, asked the court for that 5 million. So I'm saying again, if you marry an Igbo woman, if you want to remarry an Igbo woman that was previously married, your first question will be, Nne, did your family members return the bride price of the first marriage? Because if they did not, and you went on and started making babies with this woman, those children will be associated with the woman's first marriage. Absolutely. You heard me. All right. Lizzie said, like at the world, thanks to social media, the world is learning about America. No one like them in Europe. Only desperate people and well-educated people want American citizenship. So seats. Exactly. All right. 5 million is how many dollars? Okay, let me calculate it. At the time they granted that 5 million, this case is not a recent case, but he went on appeal and it takes time before they will decide. So I'm going to take it back to 12 years ago. That time, 5 million was a big deal. So at 12 years ago, Naira was about 105 to $1. No, $85. 85 Naira to $1. So let me tell you how much it will be. It was a huge money at the time. Okay. Wow. That would have been at that time $58,000 at the time. Honestly, that was a big amount. So it would have been a huge amount at the time. But right now, let me tell you guys how, because Naira has depreciated so badly. So let me tell you how much it is right now. It doesn't have value anymore. Okay. It doesn't have value at all anymore. So it's nothing. So it's going to be around 3,400 and something dollars. So it doesn't have value right now. But at the time they were, in court, when that judgment was passed, it would have been thousands of dollars. But right now, it's not even up to 3.5. So it's not, it will be around 3,500 right now. But that time would have been huge money for him to pay. And he didn't pay that. Yeah, MTA gave you the current rate right now. Yes. That's what it is. The current rate is going for $1 is going for 1,500 and change. If you go by official rate, it will be 1,450 or thereabout. So that's the current rate, but then it was a lot of money. So now that the freeze is going to Supreme Court to contest this issue, and he said he's not bowing down. If I were him, if I were him, sorry guys. Okay, let's round up so I can get my Friday started. Okay, so if Daddy Freeze has paid that money with the lower court, I guess it would have made news because they will sell the stories to bloggers and news and say, hey, that means he was caught. But he went to court to objecting that decision. But my case with him, from what I read from the news outlet, he did not appeal based on the fact. The fact is like, oh no, I did not commit adultery, and that's why I'm appealing. That wasn't the reason. He was appealing based on technicalities of the law. And that's why I have a problem, okay? If he had appealed on the facts of the matter, oh no, they're accusing me of adultery. I did not commit any adultery. For that reason, I'm going to court of appeal. But that wasn't the case with Daddy Freeze. He appealed the case based on technicalities. When I mean technicalities, you did not serve right, you did not serve the respondent, you did not serve, based on the technicalities of the law. So it suggests that adultery was committed. And again, why he might not have appealed based on the fact that I did not commit the offense will be okay. If you're denying that you did not commit at the point you start dealing with this woman, she was still legally married to the husband, not the court that dissolved the marriage, and the bride price was in return. So there was so strong evidence to prove that that act was actually committed. So he's using technicalities to do what? To throw the case out of court so that he will not pay that 5 million. We are going to wait. Maybe in the next 5 years, the Supreme Court will hear the case. And because there's no urgency in this case for Supreme Court to hear it the next day, the Supreme Court is very busy. And then, so they are going to hear the case whenever they have time to hear such a case. So we pray that we all live long to see when that will happen. But as a matter of fact, and as it stands, that the freeze has been advised by the Court of Appeal to pay the 5 million adultery fine. So this is a question for men then. If you were hoping on once she comes out of her marriage with the ex because you feel you're the Mr. Right for the woman, the first question before you saying I want to go and see your family will be, Nne, babe, did your family return the first bride price that was paid? If they did, you now know you're waiting until they finish it. At least they will not be they will not be charging you for adultery. It's laughable, right? But it is not laughable, honestly. You can only appeal on the court, on the law. Not, yeah, exactly. He did not. They were like, okay, what did you? Nah, the technicalities. That's what he's trying to use to win the case. He was supposed to serve me. I did not receive service. How do you want me to pay? According to now, when did the freeze live stream? He said they wanted me to pay the 5 million. I said no. It's not that I couldn't afford 5 million, but I can't pay the 5 million because in the first place I was not served. You understand? I was not served. So based on that, that's what he was. Now they're going to throw the case. But to be honest with you, I don't think they're going to throw the case. Daddy Freeze has done a lot of called a lot of people out, especially Nigerian pastors. So even if the pastors are going to finance the case to Supreme Court, they will make sure they pay all the fees free of charge so that the priest will have something hanging on his head. That's what I think anyway. Okay, let's see. Wasting court time. Exactly. There are so many important things to discuss. Liz, I understand you, but sometimes you have to let big man be big man. I work in broke logistics firm. I collect same some nonsense from every ethnic group, but never allow them to disturb my peace. Exactly. You just let them do what they want to do. We'll be waiting, and hopefully, God will keep all of us alive to hear what the Supreme Court will say concerning this. I also say the UK racism so backhanded, while the US, it is your face 24 hours. Yeah, it is in your face 24 hours. Absolutely. All right. Now that you've heard me discuss that the freeze case, now you can be able to understand that it wasn't that the freeze was cheating with a married woman when she was still in the marriage. At the time in question, the woman was not fully divorced, and I'm not sure at all that she returned the bride price. Because if they had returned the bride price, they would have been arguing in court that the case is now in court, will be asking for divorce, and the man who has not been willing, so the woman shouldn't be locked down after years. They could have argued that in court, but that wasn't the argument. So that refused using the fact that he was not served in the first case. And I find it very hard to believe, because he said when they now went to court, they now granted the option of substitute service, which is also one of the things we discussed here when Zoe was dodging service from Cora. We said that shouldn't be a problem. You go to court and get substituted service, and then you serve based on the conditions of the court. So, all right. Women, have your own bank account. If you have properties and business, put it in trust. What his is yours. What yours is yours. You're talking like a lawyer. But that's not a great advice. So I would say, because it's a legal advice, they will say, but I will tell you, work your marriage. Your marriage is entirely different from what happens in other people's home. So know how the dynamics of your marriage goes, and then work with it. Unless if the man is being silly, then you start thinking about yourself on the other side. But if the man is there to cooperate with you, work with your spouse on how to make your marriage successful. That will be the first advice I will give you. Is until there is something that is going wrong before you start thinking otherwise. So, guys, I've been talking now for an hour and 2 minutes, and I tell you guys it's not going to be that long. So that people can come and rewatch this video. I wonder why I'm not getting all the likes this evening. What is going on, guys? Like up this video for me. Like, because we want Daddy Freeze to hear our conversation today. We want him to hear our opinion. So like the live stream for me, share as well, and invite your friends to Oyoyo Sword. If you like what we do here, don't forget to join my membership to support Oyoyo, subscribe to my channel, and join the conversation, because it's very interesting in the comment section. So, guys, it's a Friday, okay? Let me know what you guys are planning this Friday. Are you already digging it? Are you already partying? Or are you meeting up with friends and families? Or are you doing thank God it's Friday? Are you doing Netflix and chill? How are you enjoying this Friday evening? If you're watching from North America, it's still very much daylight, if I would say, though it's 7:29 p.m. So how are you planning? What are your plans for the weekend? Okay, let me know how you're going to enjoy this weekend. As for me, I'm going to binge and do what? Chill and binge with a good Netflix movie and some pizza, okay? Also, Cameron said, and Liz said, somebody is asking for chicken wings. Okay, Papa. The racism in UK is not like America. You would be cancelled in the UK. All right, let's see. Oyoyo, women, lawyers and mothers, I beg, please, any gift you give to your children, make it before they get married. You have to play the chase. I know. Give them before they get married, so that gift will be on their name. And it will not say it's the gift that comes in the marriage, right? I get you. I get you. They are never cancelled in UK. Use it, but in an unhanded ways. No, and in an underhanded ways. Okay. House of Dragons. Okay, is that a good movie you're watching or what? Let me know in the comment section. I must thank all of you for joining me today. We just wanted to learn our own voice on what possibly could have gone wrong between Daddy Freeze and the wife. Okay, and it's Friday for me, guys, and I love Fridays because I'm not going to wake up thinking about work or office. Like this video if you're yet to do so, share and comment, and let me know your opinion in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think that the freeze did everything necessary because the man and the woman at the time they started dating, we are no longer together? Take that from me. They were no longer together. The ex Benita's ex and Benita were no longer together. There were so many stories about the marriage, so many dirty, ugly stories. The woman, what she went through in that marriage is not something I want to share here because I want to have a good Friday. Okay, just like what Cora is going through, but this one was worse than. And if you really ask me, if not that Mr. Cora Obidi have, will I say mountain of minions following him, what that Benita went through is not something you pray for your enemy. Sincerely, go watch her story in her comment section, in her videos. Her name on Instagram is taste board, like the way you taste food. She does cooking. She has a culinary school, so go check her out. Or you can go to Linda Ikeji using your laptop and type in Benita. I can't remember her last name. You will hear her interview from the horse's mouth, what it was, and when she met Daddy Freeze and all of that. I'm not here trying to justify, Daddy Freeze and all, but I'm here to speak the truth. I don't want to believe, and I will not believe, that this man was still in marriage when she started seeing Daddy Freeze. She wasn't. She was already out of the marriage. She moved to Lagos, and then they started dating. I'm saying that because I know that woman is too decent to be dragged. But let this be an awareness we are creating. If you're remarrying an Igbo woman, it's like the way I am now, right? Let's assume I'm no longer married to my husband and I live in the US. I said I can't just because of this man start traveling to Nigeria to go and return the bride price. Let's say. And then I now meet Mr. So-called charming, right? And then get into a relationship. I haven't finished the thing I started in Nigeria. The man will just be looking at me somewhere and smiling. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go make baby with that one. They will still bear my name. The culture is strong. Dowry, bride price in Igbo land is very powerful. Okay? Very, very powerful. Hi, smart boy. How are you doing? So, my beautiful people, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate all of you. I love House of Dragons and the Vikings. I'm going to look them up on Netflix, right? So I will see if I'm going to have a good one. Also, Vikings. Okay, because my son is Swedish and I want to learn his culture. Okay, that's good. I'm going to try a House of, search them to see if it's something I'm going to binge. But before that, let me go and make my hot wings to eat my pizza with and have some chilled drinks. I want to thank all of you for joining me today. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Oyoyo. And here at Oyoyo's World or Moment with Oyoyo, we keep it simple, we keep it straight, we speak the truth, we say things the way we see them. We don't sugarcoat anything. If you're doing what is right, we come here to applaud you. And if you're not doing what is right, we come here to tell you exactly. Today we discussed 2 live streams. Yes, I had 2 live streams this evening. I talked about Cora Obidi, and the ex. Actually, the topic was Mr. Koro Bidi, okay? That was what I discussed today before this particular live stream. I talked about him losing his followers in numbers because people are beginning to see him for who he is. If you missed that live stream, do me well by going back to watch it. You hear my opinion and that of my, followers and subscribers because I read the comment. I want to see you guys next time. I usually have live streams in the morning on Saturdays. So join me to discuss tomorrow's live stream. Okay. Like I said, guys, I want to believe, and I still strongly want to believe that Daddy Freeze and this woman were not seeing each other when she was still married, living with this ex-husband. No, I want to believe that was not the case. I want to believe it's a case of delayed legal system in terms of divorce, or a case of not returning bride price. These two things are the likelihood when the court can still charge them for adultery fine. If it was a case of bigamy, that the Freeze did not marry this woman at the point, maybe they were just dating, so they couldn't have charged Daddy Freeze for marrying Daddy Freeze for marrying a woman that is still married. At the time Daddy Freeze married her, they must have fully divorced, and she got her divorce license. If that was the case, assuming that the Freeze was dating the woman, seeing her there, and then went ahead and married her, then the court would have been, charged for bigamy, but they were never married at the time. So it's because the judiciary was delaying the divorce. And again, very most likely that the return of bride price was not fully done. And based on these two things, the court, not the church, the court can still charge you for what? Uh, Adultery, because you have not legally been separated from your partner. Until I see you guys in my next live stream, stay well. Catch me tomorrow on another live stream with another interesting conversation. And I'm bringing also real life issues here on my channel. Do me well to watch them as well. Don't only watch Coral BD. Do me well to follow my other stories. If you believe you like what we are doing here, subscribe to my channel. Turn on your post notification bell to receive my videos whenever I go live. And follow me on Facebook. I have 2 Facebook pages, Moments with Oyoyo and Oyoyo Sword. Follow me on my Facebook as well. I'm trying to get rid of Oyoyo Sword in the future, but let's see how it goes. So follow me on Moments with Oyoyo and support what we do by liking and sharing our video. Until I see you guys tomorrow, stay blessed and have a fantastic Friday, because I'm going to have a swell time once I'm out of here. Bye, everyone. Bye. Thank you guys immensely. Bye.